Hello, I'm Michelle Gish, the creator of We Are Here Forever. Quirk Books is hosting a comics week and they asked me to make an art video, so here's my attempt. Hope you like it. I asked you guys some questions and you gave me suggestions on what I should draw. I'm going to be drawing characters from my comics, so if you're new to my stuff, please head over to wearehereforevercomic.com to start reading. I post a webtoon too, if you have an account. So the first question I asked was, what hat would you like to see a Pyramus wear? My comic has these purple creatures called Puramus, and they like to wear things on their head, and it's usually just whatever they find on the ground. Richie says, hello, I'd like to see a Pyramus wear a pie as a hat. Richie, thank you so much for reading my comic, and also thank you for your great suggestion. So I liked drawing this one, it was fun. He's just kind of standing there with a burning pie, still fresh out of the oven, just sitting on his little smooth head. And I just think it's funny because he's just standing there content with his life, allowing his head to just kind of burn off almost, but he doesn't seem to mind. He's just living his best life. And I like how it turned out. I think he's just there. Like all of us, we're all just there. And so is he. Nemiyumi says, a duck hat, a fluffy one. And I thought that paired greatly with Julie's, which said, Pyramus wearing a duck on his head, please. And I love these two suggestions together, mainly because one's a hat and the other one's a live duck. So paired together, they're like the ultimate crew. Ultimate Duck Fan Club. So the next one was suggested by LinkMN1, and they said, brick duct tape to their head. I just love it. It's just short and sweet and to the point. Just a brick and it's duct taped to their head. And honestly, I think this might be my favorite one that I've drawn in this entire video because it's just like he's almost sad. Like he's just sitting there, no one gets him, and he's just got a dumb brick just taped to his head. We've all been Brick Boy. We have all been there. And for some reason, this one took me 30 minutes to draw. Like, I was looking back at my footage, and I'm like, why? Like, there's other ones that are way more complicated, yet this one took me the longest. And I think it's because I cherished every moment. So thank you for your suggestion. So the last one I picked for this question is a suggestion by the Wiggler channel. And they said, I would love to see Pyramus wearing a hat dispenses ice cream at any time and lets them fly. Now, when I read this, I knew I had to figure it out. And I understand exactly what they were saying, but I just had to understand this hat and its capabilities. So I needed it to have the spout in the front, so the purple friend could always eat the ice cream whenever it demanded. But also it needed to have this flying function, and also I felt like it needed to have a strap, because without the strap, it would just kind of fly away dispensing ice cream all willy-nilly, and that's not cool. So there he is flying around with his ice cream hat. He's more powerful than anyone else in this video. He's just the most powerful. He does what he wants, and he's living a dream that we all want. And yeah, so thank you, the Wiggler channel. I appreciate your suggestion. Okay, so the second question I asked was, what would you imagine Pyramus friends doing on a sunny day? So, the comic takes place during post-apocalyptic Earth, and the Pyramus are completely new to this place. Like, they don't know what anything does or what anything means, so they're sort of permanently LARPing as humans, but they're doing it completely wrong. This question is really open-ended, and I didn't know what to expect, but I got a lot of awesome responses. Fluffy Becky Bunny says, going to an amusement park but being really confused and riding all the rides wrong. Example, using the Ferris wheel as a hamster wheel. Now, I thought this one was really funny because I haven't really pictured them going to an amusement park yet, so this just kind of opened up a whole world of different ideas. So the Ferris wheel was a little bit more complicated to draw than I intended. If you're watching this, you probably can see that I'm not using a ruler, and I should have used a ruler. And I also used some random lid to get the circle, and I absolutely have a compass, but I don't know where it is. So I'm going to use this nice circle to help me. Weirdly, this took me literally the same amount of time as the brick one. I mean, I don't know how that happened. The footage, they're both 30 minutes long. I don't understand. In the end, after scanning it in and cleaning it up a little bit, I'm okay with how it turned out. Although, next time, I definitely need to use a ruler. That's a given. But, thank you for that suggestion. So up next is Scribbler Child, and they said, for the sunny day one, it'll be hilarious to have them just stare at the sun until they go blind. I feel like that's in character, and you are correct. That is definitely in character. That is something ridiculous they would do, because the sun is a shiny, pretty, glowing orb in the sky to them, so they're just going to look at it and scream in pain. There is that one comic I did forever ago of one of them just kind of staring at the sunset and looking confused because it's like, what is this? What does that mean? As if a sunset means anything. So with this one, for some reason, I struggled to draw it because apparently I forgot how to draw eyes. They're not even like real anatomical eyes. I have no explanation. But basically, the one all the way to the right, their eye just got like so messed up, and nothing I did saved it. So when I do traditional illustration work, I like to do ink work, and then if anything's a little bit wonky, then I'll go over it with a white gel pen. But that's only if I'm not going to go over it with a colored pencil or a marker, because it'll definitely affect everything. And basically with the white gel pen, it's not a good idea to keep drawing over it and then keep putting more gel pen over it, because if you do that, it just kind of becomes this crazy blended mess that nobody wants, because I want these lines to be crisp, and I'm making them look crispy, but not like in a good way, in like a bad way. That was stupid. So, yeah, it got really blurry and fuzzy and bad looking. So in the end, I had to fix it on the computer, and it looks way better now. And I'm so glad computers are real, because without computers, all of my lines will look crazy. Well, crazier than they actually look. But yeah, don't stare in the sun. It's not good for you. It's not good for your eyes. So, thank you, Scribbler Child. So the next one is from I'm a Lilypad, and they said, sleeping together on top of a giant mushroom. And I really like that suggestion. I think it's really cute. When I saw this one, I knew I wanted to draw it because it's just so cute and innocent, and it's something that they would do. They just have like a big cuddle party on top of this weird mushroom. So this one, luckily I didn't have really a hard time with. Like the last one I forgot how to draw. You know when you just forget how to do the thing you're supposed to be good at? Anyway, yeah, I don't really have much to say about this one, but I really do like it, and I think it's a really cute idea, so thank you for the suggestion. And the last one that I picked for this question is from Outstanding Oatmeal, and they said, sales pitch to birds. Why did that come into my mind? And that's such a creative suggestion. I think that's so funny, because birds don't care. Like, what are birds gonna do? They don't have money. They're not gonna need a sales pitch. I think I really like this idea because it's just, birds don't have money. Like, what are they? They don't have money. They don't want to invest in anything. Like, what could they possibly want? So I kind of wanted the sales pitch to be kind of useless. And on that stump is a kazoo. And kazoos don't really have much of a use unless you're trying to like make songs with a kazoo. I don't know a lot of people that do that. I do know people that do that, but not enough for it to be a viable source of income. But anyway, he's trying to sell this thing, and the birds, the one on the right, he's not even like looking at anything. He's just kind of there, and basically this entire interaction goes nowhere. And I feel like it's something that my dumb purple things would do. They just think that the birds are listening and the birds know what's happening, but the birds know as much as they know, which is basically nothing. Thank you for your suggestion, outstanding oatmeal. An outstanding suggestion, one would say. Okay, that was also really dumb. Sorry. So the last question I asked was, who was your favorite Pyramus in the comic, and what would their dream house look like? So I have a bunch of characters on my comic, and I felt it would be fun to ask, and I just want to know your favorites. Everyone's got a different favorite, which I find to be kind of interesting. But yeah, you guys came up with a lot of great answers, but in the end I was only able to select a few, so hopefully you guys like what I selected. Snowball Cat Likes Clouds says, my favorite Puramus is the king. He's the leader in his big, big dream castle, like in the storybooks. And you know what? I want that for King. I feel like King deserves a home fit for a king, which is a castle. When I was drawing this, I decided to put him in a tower. It's in the tippy top of his castle. So imagine there's a lot more castle. He's at the top of the tower, screaming his little lungs out because his citizens need to hear the things that he has to say. It's important. So yes, he is in his dream home, which is a castle, and he's yelling, which is his favorite thing to do. Very good. Thank you, Snowball Cat Likes Clouds. Low-Fat Catfish says, Hazel. Her house would be a giant hazelnut. And I laughed when I saw that because it's not even like Hazel likes hazelnuts. That's just her name. This suggestion is just funny. I think it's funny. I laughed and I was excited to draw it. So I put Hazel in a hazelnut-looking house, and I kind of wanted her to be protective of it. Like, she's just kind of in there looking out the window like, don't you dare come near my hazelnut house. And it's just a dumb drawing, but I had fun doing it. She's very territorial. Don't go near her hazelnut house, she will scream. But not like King. King screams louder than any other creature on the planet. But yeah, thank you for the suggestion. And last but not least is Kendra Art. And they said, my favorite is Puff Puff. I imagine Puff Puff's house is made of flowers and puffs. Giant puffs. And I like this because I'm biased. I like Puff Puff, and I also enjoy giant puffs. So I kind of drew a generic cartoon house because I didn't use reference. Of course I didn't. And I also wanted to include an illustration of Puff Puff inside the house, just looking out the window, out the puffy window, and there's the moon. And we all know, if we've read the comic, that Puff Puff is obsessed with the floating orb in the sky. What could it mean for you, Puff Puff? What does it mean for you? But yeah. I liked drawing this one because I just liked drawing all the cloud shapes and all the puffs. And Puff Puff just looks really happy there. Like, he's just vibing, and that's what we want for Puff Puff. But yeah. Thank you for your suggestion. So that is everything for this video. Thanks for watching. I've never done anything like this before, so I hope the lighting's okay and the sound's okay, and all that good stuff. Thank you to Quirk Books for hosting Comics Week. It's going to be great, so stick around. Again, my name is Michelle Gish, and my comic is called We Are Here Forever. Learn more at wearehereforevercomic.com, and I'll see you there. Bye!